Hi, I'm Shannon Gavin Johnson, the director of Legacy Museum on Main, and this is a brief moment in LaGrange's history. On October 29, 1929, the stock market crashed, throwing our country into a decade of financial difficulty. By the numbers, the era known as the Great Depression was very bleak. Nearly 11,000 banks failed between 1929 and the end of 1933, losing individual depositors over $1 billion. Unemployment reached its highest level ever of 25% in 1933. 1 out of every 4 able-bodied Americans was unable to find work. This area of the country, though, fared far better than more urban population centers. Agriculture, especially peaches, dairies, cotton, and timber, and family gardens continued to support the area, but as markets across the world slowed, local mill production did decrease and layoffs were necessary. Local mill owners ensured that one member of each family remain employed and continued to offer amenities like schools and churches. Unionization became a national trend and eventually made its way to LaGrange. Some mill workers called for unionization in strikes. Governor Eugene Talmadge ordered the National Guard be sent to LaGrange to stand as a buffer between the working employees and strikers. 5 families were evicted from mill housing after leaving their jobs. Ultimately, patience paid off when in 1935 markets began to increase and employment was much more certain. Just as newsworthy were the frequent visits to LaGrange by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who became president in 1933. Here in West Georgia for the polio healing Warm Springs, FDR saw needs in this area that would ultimately inspire some of his New Deal programs designed to ease the effects of the Great Depression. It was on a ride between LaGrange and Warm Springs that he was made aware of the great expense of providing rural areas with electricity. The Rural Electrification Administration was created to supply families, farms, and rural businesses with much-needed power. Other New Deal programs, such as the Works Progress Administration, contributed to local development with a large recreation venue, pool, and pavilion that are now Sweetland Amphitheater, and a courthouse to replace the one that burned in 1936. To learn more about the Great Depression in LaGrange, come see our latest exhibit called To Flourish in Hard Times at Legacy Museum on Main. This has been a brief moment in LaGrange's history.